Don't go believing that an e-bike is riddled with maintenance issues, because that simply is not true. Just like a normal bike, they're simple beasts to maintain. Now, a mountain bike in general is a pretty durable bike. However, with an e-bike, there's certain detail and considerations you need to bear in mind when maintaining it. Now, this sounds really obvious, but forgetting to charge your battery is one of the most common e-bike mistakes. You're getting in from your ride, you're cold, you're wet, and you're hungry, and it's the last thing you want to do. But getting some charge in your battery is better than getting no charge. So our recommendation is that you do charge your battery after every ride to keep as many cells in as new and as unused condition as possible to get the most from your battery life. In the same way that you wouldn't work on the wiring on your house with the electricity switched on, the same is true of having your e-bike battery mounted. If you're working on your motor or your drivetrain, you really need to dismount the battery, because there's a high risk of you getting your fingers trapped in the sprockets or gears if that motor suddenly gets connected. Now, taking the battery out is a pretty simple and easy task, and you probably want to do it to clean it anyway, so there's not really any excuse. Now, forgetting to keep your sensor aligned and tightened is one of the most common e-bike mistakes. It depends on what system you use, but ultimately, no sensor equals no power, and that's not good for anyone. So they might have slipped, or they might be about to slip, so you need to keep them clean, anchored, and aligned. So don't forget also there's the lead which connects the motor to the sensor, and they can become quite easily dislodged, and your feet can then get tangled up with that. In fact, it's one of the most common sources of e-bike failure. Turning your mountain bike upside down isn't such an issue. However, if you do this on an e-bike, it's going to cause serious damage to your computers and displays on your handlebar. So it's quite a common novice e-bike mistake. Not only that, if you've got your bike upside down, just like on a normal bike, you're going to get water into that head tube area, and ultimately that's going to lead to seizure. And you won't know that until it happens. Seriously. Over-tightening your nuts and bolts is a really common e-bike maintenance mistake. Just remember, you don't work for a commercial haulage company, so you don't need to go hanging off these Allen keys when you're doing your maintenance. Now, even though there's some key torque settings which you need to bear in mind, especially on the cranks and on your handlebars, in fact, it's quite good to have a bit of movement on your gear shifter or your brake lever, particularly when you come off your bike, so they're going to get dislodged under impact. One good one to remember is your battery bolt. Now, don't go hanging off this one with a long-handled Allen key, because when you go traveling and all you've got is a multi-tool, then it's going to be a lot harder to undo that with this than it is one of these. Remember that tyres have an effect on both human and electrical energy. For example, you've gone out in dry conditions with high pressure in your tyres, and it suddenly rains and you go back out again, then that spinning tyre is going to be using precious battery life. And remember, the opposite is also true. It's pointless going out with low pressures for a big day ride, because that's going to take an enormous amount of drain on your battery. Right, what about the spokes on your e-bike wheels? Well, more torque, increased stresses, and more weight from the system as a whole means it's quite likely that the wheels on your e-bike are going to get a right caning. So the message here is keep an eye on them. So prevention is key, I guess. If you've got more than one spoke loose, then maybe get it down your bike shop as quick as possible. Okay, so you've been maintaining your e-bike. A really common mistake is not reconnecting things correctly. A number of times I've pedaled off thinking there's a major problem with my bike, and all it's been is that I've simply just left one of the covers loose. So yeah, get all those leads lined up correctly, and importantly, if you've taken the motor out, make sure you've not pinched any of the leads when you're putting it back into the chassis. Right, what about lubricant, spray and contact cleaner on your e-bike when it comes to maintenance? Now, get spray anywhere near the discs on your e-bike and they'll be done. So you need to be really careful when you're applying spray to your chain. I mean, maybe if you're going to be using spray, then the best thing to use it on the lower part of your chain. Alternatively, use some lube because it's far safer. Now when it comes to the battery terminals, we suggest that you use some contact cleaner to keep that really crisp. And also some grease when it comes to the ports to make sure there's no wear to the battery or indeed to your frame. Mindset. What on earth has mindset got to do with fixing your bike? Well, it could be anything. Maybe the wrong parts have turned up, you've got the wrong tools for the job, you're fiddling around with nuts and bolts that won't come out, you've got pedals that are too tight and trying to hang off them to get them off, you haven't eaten properly. I mean, rage is ever present when it comes to mountain bike maintenance. So the message here is don't let the red mist come upon you and tackle maintenance with a really good mindset. And finally, don't forget all the other important components on your bike, such as the gears and the brakes, the seat post, having a good look at the frame, inspecting that. And that's pretty much it. Hope you like this video. If you want to see more stuff on cockpit, have a click up here. If you want to check out tyre compounds, have a look down here. Don't forget the globe to subscribe, and yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like the video.